I'm Rob B, and today I'm going to talk about the 3 biggest risks that older people face when they start to learn to play the piano. When you're in your rock and roll years, I like to call it. The second one is a bit controversial. The third one no one else talks about. The first one is this. People give up because it's too difficult. And it is, I admit it, it's not easy. It's not the easiest thing to get your fingers to do what you want them to do. But the problem is traditional teaching methods are pretty joyless. And you're learning songs which don't really have much interest to you. And then you're learning things like scales and pointless arpeggios, I like to call them. So scales. Getting your fingers to do that and then, oh, I've got it wrong, and you stop and you go, oh, and then you, oh, and then eventually you get it. But it's all that. You don't need to go through all that. I never learnt scales. That's a bit of a secret, actually. So you don't need to go through all that joyless stuff. And as I said before, getting your hands to coordinate is really difficult at first as well. That doesn't actually come up when you're learning in traditional methods because it takes so bloody long that it's not an issue. By the time you come to coordinating your hands, you've been playing for about 6 months. So there are ways, simple, enjoyable ways to learn so that you don't quit straight away. It's basically about enjoying every single session. The second big risk is learning to read music when you're starting. I know that's controversial. Some people like all that technical stuff, but when you think about it, reading music is a technical, an intellectual exercise. You have to learn what the dots mean, what the lines mean, what the different shapes mean, and then you have to translate it to playing the piano. So that means that note, and that means that note. Imagine how long that takes. One of my students, we were in a meeting the other day, and he was saying, we were learning Neil Young's Harvest Moon, beautiful song. He'd been, and he'd wanted to learn to play this song for ages. And he'd learnt, his piano teacher he'd been working with him and working from a book, and he'd learnt 3 Blind Mice, and he could play Silent Night. Lovely tunes, of course, but it's not what you want to be doing, is it? And he said to his piano teacher, how long will it take to learn this other song, this Harvest Moon? I love it. And the piano teacher said, in all seriousness, said, well, you should be able to play it in about 2 years if you keep practicing. 2 years? I nearly fell off my piano stool. That's ridiculous.
He reckons it's going to take me and most of his students roughly 2 years.
We're playing it in the first day, honestly, I mean it. You cut out all that crap, I call it, the things that stop you learning. And the other ways of learning, you can get an app which you put on your iPad or your phone, and it tells you when you play a wrong note. So you start playing the song, and when you play the wrong note, it goes beep. So you go beep, and you stop playing. It's actually reinforcing the fear of playing, reinforcing that it's really hard. And there's no grey areas. It's either right or wrong. That's a correct note, or it's not. If you play the wrong note, it's the wrong note. There's no such thing as ooh, that sounds nice. That doesn't come into it. I call it, these methods of learning, I call it musicus interruptus. because it stops the music happening. It's something else you've got to learn how to do. Fear. It's making music feel like something. It's difficult. You've got to get it right. You've got to get it right. We are loose. We experiment in a Rebel piano, and we make music at every single session. So that's how to avoid giving up too soon, is by making it fun, enjoyable, and where you're actually creating something. It means something. The third risk is not taking enough risks. It's a fact. It relates very much to the last one. As adults, most of our life, we've tended to play it safe. We've got a thing called an amygdala, which when we fear something, it goes, don't do that. Music is all about experimenting, feeling it. Hundreds of years ago, there was no such thing as written music or recorded music. Popular songs were passed from one person to the next. So there'd be some guy up in Newcastle in the north of England who'd write a song, show it to his friend, who showed it to his friend, and then he showed it to his friend in York, who showed it to his pal in London, and the guy in London went to America. By the time it got to California, it was a different piece of music. The melody was different, the chords were different, the structure was different. Music is alive. So there's a fantastic video of Bruce Hornsby playing at the BBC, and he does that song and he changes it completely. It's so beautiful, but if you were trying to learn that song, you'd want to play it like the record. I tend to be a bit looser, and I encourage my students to be looser. The final thing I'm going to show you is an example of how wrong notes, so-called wrong notes, still sound great. I've just been teaching this song to my students. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. There's 3 chords. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Those 3 chords. If you accidentally go, knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door, that's playing the wrong chord, the wrong 3 notes in the right hand. But if you keep the rhythm going and the melody going, it doesn't matter. It's important to learn the right chords first, if you can, but then when you start to play the song, I'm a great believer in keeping going whatever happens, and by doing that it reinforces the learning. It still sounds nice. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. 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 Oh, isn't that beautiful? I'm playing a wrong note and it just, it lifts the song. So that's what it's all about today. 3 risks which are all avoidable. Giving up because it's hard, we make it easy. Learning to read music, going from apps that tell you it's wrong, tell you it's wrong, tell you it's wrong. That doesn't come into it. And then not taking enough risks. Just experiment a bit and try things out, and you'll enjoy it, and music will start to happen. Music is alive, as I say. So keep it simple, keep it enjoyable, and play the rebel way. That's it. See you soon. Bye.